Hello everyone, I'm Fang Cao, and today I'm going to talk about the additive and the subtractive bilingualism and why program design matters for minority language learners. In this presentation, I mainly focus on the North Territory case in Australia, and I will also briefly mention Xinjiang as a cross-context example connected to my own background. What interested me most is that bilingual education is not just about teaching two languages. It is also shaped by power, ideology, and the value given to the child's first language. And first, the main idea that feels new to me was a difference between the additive and the subjective bilingualism. According to Hammers and Blanke, additive bilingualism happens when both languages are valued and supported. In this case, bilingual development can lead to more positive academic outcomes. By contrast, subtractive bilingualism happens when the first language is devalued or pushed aside. Then the child may gradually lose the first language, and bilingualism may be associated with education disadvantage. For me, the most important point is that bilingualism itself is not the problem. The outcome depends on the social and educational contexts. Next, I want to compare three frameworks. First, Baker classifies bilingual programs into weak forms and strong forms. Weak forms usually moves students towards a dominant language, while strong forms are more supportive of bilingual development. Second, comments argue that first language development can support second language learning, and the first language literacy may also support academic achievement. Third, Hammers and Blanket take a broad view. They argue that bilingual education is shaped by social history, ideology, and power and social psychological factors. For my topic, I find Hammers and Blankets the most useful because program design alone does not determine outcomes. Context matters as well. And another important idea is what Commons called the myth of the bilingual handcuff, as discussed in Hammers and Blanke. This challenges the belief that minority children do poorly in school because bilingualism itself caused cognitive problems. Instead, the real problem is often the school system, especially when schools surprise the child's first language. So, if the school does not value the first language, children may lose confidence and struggle academically. Then their failure is wrongly blamed on bilingualism. And now I will move to the application part, using the North Territory in Australia as my main case. As low balcony and the starter's note, bilingual education in Australia has had a long and complex history. Before 2008, some bilingual programs in the North Territory used indigenous language for earlier literacy, and then gradually introduced English. This was closer to a maintenance approach. However, after 2008, the first 4 hours of English policy changed the direction. Bilingual programs were weakened or dismantled, and this happened without meaningful community consultation. Also, the government blamed bilingual education for poor results in Australia's national assessment program in literacy and numeracy. And looking at the North Territory case, several outcomes were reported. According to the Davlin, the policy did not lead to clear improvements in attendance or engagement in remote schools. Also, the decision has been described as a knee-jerk response to media pressure. At this point, I also want to briefly mention Xinjiang as a cross-context example. This is not my main evidence base. I use it as a personal and contextual reference. In some Xinjiang contexts, yoga medium instruction coexistence with Mandarin classes. More recently, there has been a strong shift toward mentoring media instruction in core subjects. Although this is a different context, I think there is a similar tension between expanding access to the dominant language and maintaining the value of the first language. Based on these direct discussions, my future research question is how do different bilingual education models, especially maintenance and transitional models, affect the minority students' long term academic outcomes and cultural identity? I would focus on remote indigenous communities in Australia, and I think a longitudinal mixed method design will be suitable. And there are two reasons why this research matters. First, many students focus mainly on short-term test scores, but pay less attention to long-term language ability, identity, and community impact. Second, policy decision can have serious consequences for minority learners. The North Territory case suggested that policy made without strong research support may negatively affect the educational outcomes. And to conclude, this topic helped me to say bilingual education beyond a teaching method. Now I understand more clearly that power ideology and context strongly influenced by how bilingual education develops. I also learned that there is no single model that worked for every community. More personally, this topic pushed me to think more correctly about the minority language learners and to connect the course's content with my own background and experience. In the future, I will pay closer attention to how bilingual education works in local contexts and to how both second language access and first language maintenance can be valued together. Thank you. And this is my reference list. Thank you for listening.